Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the Los Angeles Clippers MyNBA series here on NBA 2K24, where the Clippers have a big game today at home against the Minnesota Timberwolves, the team that currently houses as the 10th spot in the West, and that is the last play-in position. They are 32-33 with a 4-game lead over us, so this is a big chance for us to cut that gap a little bit and take one at home. We went 3-1 last week, 2 wins over the Bucks, 1 win against the Bulls, but we're going to be without James Harden today, who has an injured toe. You can see the lineups for us right there. BJ Boston Jr. will have to come up big. Filling in for him is for the Timberwolves. It is Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Karl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert is their starting 5. We get ready for tip-off. I hope you guys are ready for this one. If you are, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more basketball content, as it'll be Rudy Gobert versus Ivica Zubac, and Zubac is able to get the win on the tip. And we are underway. Russell Westbrook with the basketball to begin. Clippers are currently 27-36. As Kawhi Leonard will quickly get started with a tray ball. No James Harden tonight, which means, again, this is all going to have to be on Kawhi Leonard. He's going to have to get some help from somebody else other than Harden to fill in that spot. Here's Gobert down low, being guarded by Kenyon Martin Jr. Nice defense by Martin Jr. He's going to have his hands full tonight with Karl Anthony Towns, so it's good to see him get a nice defensive play there against Rudy Gobert. On the other end, here's Zubac over to Leonard, being guarded by Jaden McDaniels. Finds Westbrook down low, thought about the pump fake, finds a wide open Kenyon Martin Jr. for 3, and he misses. Those are the kind of shots we're going to have to hit consistently tonight. Those wide open looks when you get them. That one does not fall. As now here is Edwards, who drives by Brandon Boston Jr. and he throws it down with one hand. This is the 4th matchup between these two teams. Edwards has had a field day against this year. 26.7 points per game. We're hoping he can slow him down. It's a tough matchup for BJ Boston, but he's got to be able to handle Edwards. Boston currently has the ball, gets the screen left side, trying to drive inside for Zubac. He gets underneath, and he gets the up and in layup. Nice pick and roll play there for Boston and Zubac. It's now 5-2. Conley drives it up the court, being guarded by Westbrook. Over to Gobert now at the 3-point line. Hands it off for McDaniels, a very good 3-point shooter. Inside for Towns. This is the matchup to watch. Towns just too big for Kenyon Martin Jr. and the All-Star this year, able to get his first points of the ball game. 22 points on the road for Cat this year. He's now 4-time All-Star after being nominated this year. This here's Westbrook, who actually gets a foul. They're going to call Anthony Edwards on the reach in there. Still inbound the ball, still on this side of the floor. As Ivica Zubac over to Westbrook. Being guarded by Conley, 2 veterans of the National Basketball Association. Westbrook gets inside, draws a double, and he can't finish with a right. He should have kicked it out. Had a wide open man at the stripe, but unfortunately it was a miss. And here comes Anthony Edwards now over to Conley. By Conley, the former Utah Jazz, over to Anthony Edwards for 3, and he's off the mark. Good look there by Edwards, but it's unable to go. It's now Kawhi Leonard on the other end. Gets the screen. Left side, pulls up from the mid-range. It's a miss, but Zubac's able to get the offensive board. He kicks it back out, resets some of the shot clock. Westbrook now gets inside, drives on Conley, and uses his strength to muscle Conley out the way and get his first bucket of the day. Now 7-4 in favor of the Clippers. So it's nice to see a couple of other guys get involved in offense. Make it not always about the claw. As Edwards trying to work on Boston here. Isolation, gets a long 2 opportunity, and he misses. We'll take those opportunities all day. If we can have to force them to make long 2s, it sounds like a win to me. 3 minutes have gone by as there's a illegal screen now on Kenyon Martin down low. That'll unfortunately turn the ball over for the Clippers. As LA had a very good week last week, but is time starting to run out for them? Figure out after this game. This is a big one for both squads. We touched on it at the top of the broadcast. As Towns again down low gets muscled by Martin, and Martin has no choice but to foul Karl Anthony Towns. He quickly picks up his 2nd foul of the ball game, so he will check out. In will come Robert Covington. So Martin already having his hands full with Towns down low, who makes both of his free throws. Makes it a 7-6 ball game now. As Kawhi now will be tasked with bringing it up the court. He pokes left side. Here comes Zubac with the screen. Cuts right. Goes against Gobert. Takes it right to the rack. He'll actually draw the shooting foul on Rudy. The three-time Defensive Player of the Year now in Minnesota after a long career in Utah. As Leonard able to make both of his free throws, he makes it a 9-6 game or a 6-9 game. Depends on which one you like more. Edwards now bringing it up the court. He's going to go isolation here on Boston Jr. Got to stick with him. There's a nice hop step. Oh, and great held defense, though, by Robert Covington. Comes over for the block. And on the other end, Boston gets inside and throws it down with a right hand. A great play sparked by the defensive help of Robert Covington to come over and swat Anthony Edwards at the rim. It's now 11-6 Clippers. A nice play there. As now here's Towns again down low, being guarded by Covington. Covington has a little bit more size than Martin, but unfortunately he fares the same way. Towns just too big, too strong. He's averaging 22 points per game this year. It's going to be a matchup problem down low. Let's see what the Clippers do to try to counteract that. Screen coming left side for Westbrook. Long two, thought about it. Instead gives up to Leonard for a three, and Kawhi unable to hit his second tray ball of the game. Gobert with the rebound, now pushed up to Conley. Conley will pause, try to get a play set up. They get McDaniels open off ball, but Leonard is there. Nice recovery by one of the best defensive players in the league. Gives it up to Gobert at the three-point line. He's going to drive inside and get to the hole. Not sure why Zubac is really guarding him that tight at the three-point line. I don't think Gobert is that good of a three-point shooter. So he allows Gobert to get inside, drive, get the two, and now it's a one-point game. 11-10 is currently your score. This next possession here for the Clippers. Boston over to Leonard, but McDaniels jumps the passing lane. And look out, McDaniels throws it down with one hand. A great defensive play there by Jaden McDaniels to intercept the passing lane. Free pass to the basket, and now the Minnesota Timberwolves regain the lead, now 12-11. Screen right side for Boston gets him inside. He's going to quickly answer with a finger roll. Nice 2 points there for BJ Boston Jr., who's getting the start tonight in place of the injured James Harden. Boston, I would have to say, has not had the best season so far, but he's had a pretty solid start to this ball game, getting involved in the offense. As here's Anthony Edwards driving on him, though, and, well, still needs to pick it up a little bit defensively. Anthony Edwards, 27.9 points per game this year. Did not get voted to the All-Star game, which is a little surprising. Maybe one of the snubs of the Western Conference. As now Westbrook on the other end trying to drive inside on Conley. Gets by him, but misses the left. Gobert was there for the help, so Westbrook throws off his layup. Instead on the other end, Conley with it. Over to Towns, who drives on Covington. He gets it to go. Another basket for Karl Anthony Towns. He's been very busy to start this ball game. 16-13 now is your score as we're over halfway through the first quarter of play. Westbrook left side. He's going to pull from three. This hasn't been his best shot in a recent time, and he's another one that misses. He only went 1 for 6 from the three-point line in last week's game against Milwaukee. It's now Towns again inside on Covington. Covington just doing all he can and actually works out. He gets Towns to miss the right hook. And now on the other end, Westbrook with another screen. Drives left side. Gives it up to Covington. Over to Leonard. Screen now set. Kawhi. Mid-range, 2. Gives it up for Covington in the corner for 3. And it's off the mark, off the back iron. Again, we need those shots to fall. That would have tied the ball game up. Instead, Edwards on the other end gets to the basket with an and one. And we'll go to the end of the first quarter where Leonard heaves up a 3 at the buzzer and knocks it down. So that makes it a 26-22 game after the first quarter as a rare smile crosses the face of Kawhi Leonard. At the tail end here of the second quarter, 3 minutes to go in the first half, it is a 43-41 ball game. So still a tightly contested battle. As you can see now, Towns being guarded by Leonard. It looks like Los Angeles has made a switch. They're trying to put their best defender on who's been Minnesota's best offensive player today, but it hasn't seemed to matter. Karl Anthony Towns is too big, too strong, already up at 15 points today on 6 of 7 shooting with a +9 differential. So he has been very much the best player on the court. As Leonard over to Westbrook for 3, left side, and he got it. Russell Westbrook now hits from downtown. cuts the lead now to 1. There's good faith there by Kawhi to give it up to Russell, who has been struggling from deep, but he's able to hit a big shot there. Now on the other end, Anderson trying to work isolation on Martin Jr., who's back in the game, and Anderson misses. He misses the short shot. Rebound now by LA. It's Westbrook now up the court. Over to Boston. Being guarded by McDaniels. Now over left side for Leonard. Calls for a screen. Drives right side. Gives it up to Zubats at the three-point line. Back over to Martin now. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Westbrook top of the key. Gives it up to Leonard, who with 2 seconds has to fire, and he's just off the line. Conley gets the rebound and puts him into takeover mode. As you can see, Kawhi's numbers on the day. He's got 11 points and only on 3 of 7 shooting. 2 for 4 from downtown is good, though. As Conley from the mid-range hits, as like I said, he's in takeover mode, and the former Utah Jazz pushed the lead up to 3. Minute 15 left here to go in the first half. Westbrook with the basketball over to Boston. A 3-point game here in the Crypto.com arena. Boston with it. Here's Leonard off ball. Thought about the 3 ball. Tries to drive inside. Kicks it out. Westbrook long 2. It's in. Back-to-back deep shots for Westbrook fall, and he's got 13 on the night on 6 of 10 shooting. So how about Russell Westbrook? We said somebody's got to step up for the under James Harden, and the 2017 MVP's trying to turn back the clock here tonight. McDaniels, though, unfortunately wide open, connects on the right side. Probably the best 3-point shooter on Minnesota's lineup, so you don't want to give him that kind of space. And he pushes it back up to a 4-point difference. Boston Jr. on the other end is just going to dribble the ball out of bounds. I think McDaniels kind of bumped him out of bounds, but no foul called. Instead, it's a turnover for LA. So with 38.3 seconds left to go, Conley will dribble it up the court. 14 seconds separates the game, the shot clock. Towns wants it down low again. He's not going to get it. They're going to push it over to Joshua Primo, who checks into the game for the first time, the former San Antonio Spur, who gives it right back to Conley, who misses from 3. Maybe a heat check there for Mike Conley. It's now with 16 seconds left to go. Last possession potentially of the first half. Leonard's going to wait at the top of the key. He's going to cut right side. Waiting for the screen. He gets it. 3 seconds left. Pulls from the mid-range. It goes offline. And that'll be the end of the first half. The Timberwolves lead 50-46. Who will win this big-time matchup for one of the play-in spots? Well, to find out in the second half. As you can see the numbers on the screen, Karl-Anthony Towns currently the best player, top performer of the first half with 15, but Russell Westbrook doing pretty good on the LA side with 13 of his own, really trying to push the Clippers to a big-time victory is what would make it 3 straight. As we begin the second half, Mike Conley and the Timberwolves will start off with the basketball, currently housing that 4-point lead. As here's Towns on the left side, Leonard still guarding Cat, and does a good job there, not allowing him to get positioning. Now Conley being guarded tight by Westbrook. Finds a cutting McDaniels, who kicks it back out to Edwards. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Tries to get inside, and he does. 23 seconds, good defense, but like it's been some of the consistency, it is that 24th second that can be a problem sometimes. Edwards is up to 14 points in the night in only 19 minutes, so Minnesota's 2 young stars are really standing out in this game, but Leonard's going to answer back with a jump shot at the free throw line. He's had himself a pretty solid performance as well. Back to a 4-point difference. Conley over to Edwards, who fires from 3, and he connects. Anthony Edwards, the 2020 number 1 overall pick, with 5 quick points here to begin the second half. This is now 55-48. Westbrook trying to drive on Conley. Good defense by the former Utah Jazz guard. Finds a Boston Jr. open in the side, though, and he connects on the 3. So at least the Clippers are answering right back. B.J. Boston with a big shot. He's actually had a pretty solid day starting in that 2 spot. I'll have to give it to him. He's been the 3rd best scorer on this team behind Leonard and Westbrook. Next possession, Gobert hands it off for Conley. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. He's trying to get something going. He finds Towns, left side, has Leonard on him. 4 seconds left. Good defense here by the Claw, but Towns gets inside and he misses. A little errant on that attempt. Leonard with the rebound, pushes it over to Westbrook, gets it right back. Westbrook now again with it, playing a little give and go. Gets inside. Leonard now, 3 points. Got it from the top of the key. A big three for Leonard. Clippers have hit some clutch shots today to keep this close, as it's now only a 1-point game. But it seems like whenever they get within one possession, Minnesota hits a big shot of their own to push it right back. Well, let's see what happens on this possession. Here's Towns, left side, gets a screen, fires from three. Karl-Anthony Towns, and that's what I'm talking about. A three ball of his own, and right when the Clippers are within reach, Minnesota pushes it again to a 4-point game. Pretty solid start here for the second half. A lot of fireworks in this one. Now Leonard drives right side, and he gets fouled going to the basket. McDaniels called for his second personal. That'll send Leonard to the line for two. He'll make the first of his 2 free throws, pushes him up to 17 points. And the second one is up and in as well. 5 for 6 from the free throw line is Leonard. 58-56, again, just a single possession game. Towns tries to drive on Leonard, and he actually somehow gets some phasing through there. I don't know what that was, but I thought Leonard had good defense. The next thing I knew, he was behind him, so might need to check in a little bit there with the chemistry teacher on how that works. But nonetheless, Towns is up to 20 points on the night. I teach math, not science, so I couldn't answer that question for you. 9 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Intercepted in the paint by Gobert, and there's a transition foul for Russell Westbrook. Interesting call, as that'll send Towns to the line for a freebie as he connects. Haven't seen that this season, but nonetheless, now a 5-point lead for Minnesota. As Anthony Edwards will dribble it up the court. He's had a hot start to his second half, and he tries a super deep three. I don't know if you've been that hot to start the day. It allows Leonard to get on his spot on the other end, and he connects from downtown. So a errant, not smart by Edwards, was a 6-point swing as he misses his three, and Leonard connects with one of his own. Anthony Edwards has filled up the stat sheet today, but he hasn't necessarily been the most efficient. He's going to try a little bit better now as he gets inside, and he gets it to go off the glass. That's a much better shot selection, I would say, for the former Georgia Bulldog. Back up to a 4-point lead we go. 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter. As Kawhi will throw it over to B.J. Boston. He's being guarded by the aforementioned Edwards. Boston Jr. gets some space inside, though. He gets fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. But we'll go a little bit later here in the third quarter. As now 3:30 to go in the frame as Westbrook hits his second free throw. It's a 78-71 ball game now. A 7-point lead for Minnesota as the Clippers just still trying to keep pace with Minnesota's offense. Reed for three at the top of the key. That one goes in and out. As Mason Plumlee, welcome back from your injury, corrals the rebound. He gets it over to Westbrook. Gets a screen left side from Plumlee. Westbrook now finds the cutting Mason, and he gets it to the basket. Nice pick and roll offense there. Westbrook has been great today, scoring the ball, dishing the rock. He's playing like his former MVP self. It's now a 5-point game. Here's Towns. He's being guarded by Covington. Leonard currently not in the game, and he actually draws a foul. And we'll go to the end of the third quarter. 9-point lead here for the Timberwolves, 88-79. Going into the final frame, we'll go to the final minute and a half where this one is close. 106-103. We got another close finish on our hands here in Los Angeles as Plumlee gets to the rack. He had an open look, but he misses. He does get his own rebounds. Resets down low. This is Zubac. I apologize, and he misses with another second chance point. These are the shots that he's got to hit as we're coming up on only a minute left in this ball game, and it's a one-possession game. Towns now being guarded by Martin. Doesn't have Leonard on him. Interesting decision. Towns realizes he has the height advantage. He has the size mismatch. Instead, he gives it up. 4 seconds to go on the shot clock. Edwards tries to drive inside, and he connects with a big shot at, again, the 23.5-second mark. That pushes the Timberwolves lead back up to 5. We're inside a minute. This is a big possession for Los Angeles. They've been close all day, but they just can't get over that hump. Leonard's wasting a lot of time here. Gets a screen from Zubac. Tries to give it up on the alley-oop attempt, but he's unable to catch it. And that's an offensive interference. And we're actually just going to go to the end of this ball game. The Timberwolves will win 113-106. The Clippers were close all game, but they just could never get over that final hurdle and retake the lead. Just a couple of missed opportunities in this game. We could have very much won this ball game. I thought offensively, we played pretty well in the absence of James Harden. Westbrook stepped up with 23. Boston had 18 on 6 of 9 shooting. A great day for him. But some of the other players, Zubac especially, he really struggled when given the opportunity. Martin Jr. went 0 for 6. We just couldn't stop Towns. It didn't matter who we put on him. He only missed 4 shots. And I just think defensively we struggled. Zubac, I'm going to call him out. He's just so slow getting back on transitions. I mean, if there's a missed shot, he's always the last man up the floor. We lose the next game to the Bulls, who get some rematch against us from last week. We beat them by 21 last week. They beat us by, how about 25? Leonard, again, another 2 for 12 shooting day in the loss. And then the next night, we lose by 18 to the Pelicans, 127 to 109. But you do get some good news after this game. Paul George is fully healed. We did not think he was going to play again this season, but he has been cleared, and he can play in the final stretch. He was playing good before he got injured, but the question remains, do we risk Paul George coming back from injury? There's only 16 games left in the season. We're now 6.5 games out of the play-in spot. But I say, if we're in contention, we might as well play him. So PG-13 will be making his debut against the Atlanta Hawks. I usually only play 1 game per week, but this is Paul George's return. We got to play this one. The Hawks are a good team. They're a playoff team in the East, one of the top 5 teams in that conference. So this could be a big win for us over the Atlanta Hawks at home, mind you, in Paul George's return. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are excited for PG-13's return. If you are, make sure you drop that like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.